Yeah, I wanted to read this article, but I hate this. I hate this. I'm not happy, and I don't want to manage all of this. Look at this. Oh, thank God it has this. Reject all. Good. So yeah, Unity made a stain on itself. That's I'm not reading all of this. Although I do have a program that reads, so you can basically do something like this and press this.
The company behind the Unity engine, one of the major game development tools used by independent studios, has announced a controversial new fee. Starting from January 1st, Unity will charge developers each time a game using the engine is downloaded.
Okay,
the charge will begin when sales reach a threshold of $200,000 in revenue over 12 months and 200,000 total installs. Charges will vary depending on the license the developer has with Unity, but the fee has been met with...
Okay, I don't want to listen to this anymore. I kind of got the gist of it from a few YouTube videos. We'll watch these ones later. Yeah, this
has broken loose.
What
so
they do now. Let's see its drama.
Key things have happened. September 12th, Unity made their initial announcement, changing the whole business model effectively. Chaos ensued immediately. September 13th and 14th, Unity followed up with some clarification posts, which were intended to put out the flames, but actually ended up stoking the fire even further because it basically clarified what people's worst positions were about the initial announcement. Things got much, much worse. An army of some of the biggest and most well-known game developers in the scene have come together in rebellion and protest of these changes. Unity Twitter and social media with public statements voicing opposition to changes, cancelling future Unity projects, cancelling partnerships, and many even boycotting the platform outright. Metacritic, the makers of Slaves Fire, and even Kenny, the creator of the famous Kenny assets used in basically every Unity tutorial. And so many more. Gary Newman, the creator of the super hit Gary's Mod, wrote a brilliant manifesto aptly titled Unity Can Get Fucked. You can find that on his Twitter. Some cheeky monkey even edited the Wikipedia page for greed, adding John Riccatello's photo as an example of what greed looks like.
What the fuck?
And the memes just kept getting meaner.
Oh my god, let's look at this. Yeah, you can press comma and a punctuation mark, I don't know what it's called, to slightly rewind back and forth frame by frame. So this is what I'm doing. Yeah, a little more biased company.
Okay. So many memes, most pretty lighthearted and playful. My own video I posted to Twitter, 3-second video of me slapping the Unity logo, got 200,000 views, which is funny because I intentionally put no hashtags or anything, just to keep it within my community, but you know, that's how it goes. Unity stock prices took a bit of a dive and now in a bit of a downward trend, so we'll see how that plays out. Damn. And Unity CEO John Riccatello's personal Twitter got absolutely decimated by just like a stream of wild emotional tirades. Some pretty wild stuff, I have to admit. John Riccatello, I suck your ass, yeah. And then Unity, John Riccatello.
What? Thinking anything to the game industry, yeah.
I suck your ass, yeah. And then Unity closed its San Francisco office as a precaution due to threats. The police got involved, the FBI allegedly got involved, and I believe it was later found that the threat came from a staff member at Unity. It's all crazy, absolutely crazy, all of this. It's gone so far. And there are a lot of Unity staff who are innocent bystanders in all of this that are probably copying some flack because the gaming community has now got involved as well. And gamers don't give a fuck. They will just blast anyone. I really feel for those people at Unity right now. And many Unity employees have spoken out about this and showing their discontent about the situation. Staff member John O. Forbes wrote on Twitter, as a Unity employee until this morning, I assure you we fought like hell against this. Brought up all points everyone has. We're told answers were coming. And then the announcement went out without warning. Those of us who care are out. More resignations coming end of this week.
So, yeah, what the hell? They fired them all. Well, not all, but... So the employees knew, and they even had the guts to protest, but the big heads, yikes. Worse. Greedy as F, you know.
So you can just imagine the turmoil going on in Unity HQ right now. Obviously there is a divide between the people who just work there want to make good engines and good content for the community and upper management. So what else? People started digging around and discovered that Unity had changed the terms and conditions on their Git repo in relationship to their contractual obligations with their engines. Now this is very dubious and suspicious, if true, and it's been a cause for alarm because it could even be illegal. And many studios have started involving their legal teams at this point, and many people have got responses from their lawyers claiming that this whole situation barely makes sense legally and probably is not legal. Barely
not legal. Let's say it's from Jesus.
How did this even happen? We have 7,000 staff at Unity. God knows how many lawyers working for that company. How do you just push this out like this? And this has led to some conspiracy theories. There's various posts on Reddit, people speculating that this is all part of a plan to try to lure a company like Apple
could be
into a buyout. Apple now is entangled with Unity as part of their Vision Pro. You know, Apple is somewhat reliant perhaps on Unity to make content for their headset, so they can't afford to have Unity tanking. I don't know how these things work, but I imagine when it comes to corporate kind of buyouts, there's all manner of shenanigans that take place. I can only imagine. And then we had the ultimatum letter. A large number of major mobile developers came together with an ultimatum letter.
Oof. Azure, Voodoo, Almas. I know some of these crazy labs, obviously. Jesus. Play gender. Whatever. I knew a few of those.
To Unity, basically stating, you need to change this, and until you do,
what? From game to complete turning off all Jesus.
We are pulling all our Unity ads out. We are turning them off effectively. So all these companies are compromising their own profits at the moment, losing a lot of money, and these companies have said they will not turn these ads back on until Unity reverts this. So where are we now? Well, Unity has gone radio silent at this point after their last bungled PR attempt. they've kind of given up for the moment. I think they need to think very carefully with what they write next, because let me tell you, like many of you who have their ears on the ground right now, who are in the thick of it and understand the true nature of the situation, a lot of people don't quite get it. They're kind of just watching from afar. I'm a developer. I'm part of the scene. I'm deep in the trenches. I understand what's going on. I've spoken to hundreds of game developers over the past few days. I've barely gotten any sleep. So let me tell you what's going on. This is a very bad situation, and I'm not sure Unity is taking it as seriously as it should be taken. They followed up with a couple of response posts that were ambiguous, full of corporate speak, and just infuriated people further and further. I just don't understand how this is possible for such a big, sophisticated company, a publicly traded company, just shooting themselves in the foot over and over and over again. Trust is eroded to the point of breaking. And I had some people in my comments in the last video trying to be clever and say things like, oh, look, this only affects people making more than 200K or whatever. But they are missing the whole point of this. This is not about the 20 cents tariff. That's only part of the much bigger problem here. This is about a company rolling out what have shown to be patently illogical and nonsensical business model changes out of nowhere with no warning, basically shitting on 2-decade-long relationships and trust building and goodwill from the community. Putting countless of businesses and livelihoods on the chopping block. That's the problem. And this affects everyone on the Unity platform. This erodes the trust in the Unity platform, and it's affecting perception.
So as you can see, I've sped it up to 3. I don't usually do this, but it's a long video. I'm interested, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. But yeah, it's holy schmoly, this is a tough situation, I guess. I didn't know it escalated this quick, as in the meme. Boy, that escalated quickly. Went up a few notches.
The thing, gamers are now paying attention to this. I've been watching various game channels pick this up and talking about this. And Unity already has a negative reputation with some games. They just do. Now you find that Splash screen fires up. It's associated with this whole logo and branding is tainted at this point. Trust is the glue that keeps society together. We break that trust. And it's very hard / impossible to get it back. So that was a very awkward position. It's not looking good. So many people already emotionally moved on. Lots of you guys already making transition plans and talking about.
Yeah, they were greedy as F, man, as food, as feet. So yeah, I can't believe how greedy do you have to be, man. Do you need trillions of dollars? Aren't millions enough? Or billions? Do you need to go for the trillions? God damn it.
Platforms, they know it's not trust you. Someone has that their livelihood under dark cloud for a wonder. This will happen again. But this Unity is silent. And like Unity game currently in the works.
Making me angry, kind of.
So I can't just silent. And like many, I have a Unity game currently in the works that I can't just port over to another engine. It will just.
It looks good, the game, man.
Add another year or something to my timeline, and that's just not acceptable at this point. So I have to continue with Unity. And it's hard, because I'm kind of at the point right now, at least in this current climate, where I just don't even want to see the Unity logo. I don't even want to fire up the IDE. I need to distance myself and take a break, with the exception of making this video, of course. And I think the true damage will be done when the next dev cycle is finished. When current games go out, and studios have to then start their new projects and have to decide which platform they're going to use. Unity, Godot, Unreal, or other. And I think that's when true damage will be revealed. Because those platforms like Godot are stepping up at a time like this. The creator of Godot, oh my god, what a guy. He has been up this whole time just trying to help shepherd all the Unity refugees. But he's not pushing them, he's telling them to be cautious, don't be impulsive, think very carefully through your decision. But if you choose Godot, this is what we'll do for you. And he's gone as far as making a roadmap plan.
Well, let's see. C# support, yeah, that would be good actually. Store, damn.
For the Unity developers, he's talking about adding an asset store. He's talking about adding more robust integrated C# support. I mean, so where do I stand on all of this myself? Now, I mentioned kind of my position in the last video, but I'll say it again just so we're clear. I am a Unity user. I don't want to see Unity go down. It's not going to benefit me. And as developers, it's in our best interest to have more game engines than less, because competition is what's going to bring out the best in these engines for us. But I understand there are some people who at this point are so insulted with Unity, with their patronizing corporate speak, and it's audacity of this whole situation. They just want to see Unity burn. I don't blame them. But it doesn't benefit anyone if Unity goes up in flames. I was there before Flash. I worked through it. And for those who don't know how huge.
Yeah, Flash games were kind of the thing back then. Unity kind of picked it up, not only Unity.
And that was Flash. I was why 10 years. That was a huge platform. Every single advertising company was using this. This was the biggest plugin in the world. Like 99% of computers had this Flash plugin installed. It was the deals. Away. There was just a void in the market, and we all scattered. And any of us went to Unity. I did. And it's funny to think that a decade later.
Okay, when you go to 4, it kind of depends on the video you're watching and the person speaking, but 3.5 is comfortable, barely comfortable for me to listen to at this speed. And yeah, 4 is kind of getting out there.
It must help. I'm not sure some people realize how fast these situations can change. I was going to say, Unity is a multi-billion-dollar company, so it's going to die. And today I'll say, you went there for Flash thing, and you went there maybe for AngularJS help. The biggest making platform framework in the world at one point basically went away in a week because of some changes they wanted to react. This happens, trust me. Developers are a freaking bunch. You do not mess it out when it comes to our livelihood. And if something is threatening it, we ship very, very quickly. It happens very fast. So believe me when I say, you can be a juggernaut company and get all the way very quickly. Once something's down in the text space, and something's not cool, man, it's kind of over. And it's kind of where we are heading right now with Unity. Because it's not the first event. This has been various things that have been happening over the past few years. This is kind of like nailing coffin. It's like the final blow. It's like a Shiro from the Fist of the North Star says, you're dead. You just don't know it yet. Perception, trust is everything. So where does Unity go from here? I mean, it would be so interesting to see what they come back with, really. Because at this point, as far as I can see, they would have to firstly walk the whole thing back. The whole thing. Absolutely. Or then they'll probably have to,
I wish that would happen, but it's kind of difficult when you step in the shit so much, the poop.
Change the whole management of that company. And then they would have to like offer
some management, yeah, those guys are never leaving. They're greedy,
And Google concessions, I don't know. They have to like send 10 to all the developers or something. But even then, I just don't know if there's man. It's how you come back from this. So what's next for me? Well, funnily enough, I had a plan prior to this of getting back to making Unity tutorials and educational content. I had a Udemy course in the works, so I spent about 4 months preparing already. So all this stuff is pretty much dead. And that's a big part of this larger problem that Unity has. What makes you...
This guy invested 4 months into making Udemy courses. Oh my god, dude. Yikes. Sorry, man. Sorry, bro.
Unity
this is effing shame, bro.
As a platform, apart from its engine, is the community. All the videos, all the learning resources, and Udemy courses, and various things that people make for free. Can you imagine, at this point, after this situation, anyone going and making a Unity tutorial on YouTube? As someone who has made tutorials in the past, that notion to me is absolutely like off the table. I mean, why would I? I might as well spend time on making Godot tutorials at this point. Once
Yeah, because you don't want to invest into something this bad.
That lake dries up all those learning resources as new versions of Unity now. You've lost a big chunk of the value that was the Unity platform. So anyways, guys, look after yourselves. I'm having this trolling Twitter at this point and my eyes need a break. Let's see what happens, guys.
Scrolling Twitter and the eyes need a break. Is it from crying? Just kidding, man. Just kidding. I know it's. This was a good video, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Jesus, yeah, imagine buying a shovel and having to pay shovel manufacturer every time you dig a hole. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Oh my god, yeah, I'll link this video, obviously, that's good. Let's see. I don't want to watch too many of these videos, but let's see what's...
So we're finally here, are we? Well, it was nice. Goes up to a... So we're finally here, are we? Well, it was nice while it lasted, folks, but I think it's time to... I think it's time to back
nice
up. Well, anyway, so a lot of you probably already heard the changes to the Unity prices over here, and of course, there has been, there has been an uproar in the community, to say the least, and the reasoning obviously being the idea that you now have to pay a fee for the Unity runtime, which means that every time your game is installed, you have to pay an additional fee to Unity themselves. Now, overall, when you look at the entirety of the calculations, and you look at, for indie game devs and for people who are using personal, if you have to get the revenue of 200k over here, and you have to get 200,000 installs, and then if you switch to Unity Pro, this goes up to 1 million each, which, to be fair, getting 1 million revenue and getting 1 million installs, that's hard, right? This is like not reachable by most indie game devs ever in their entire lives.
Yeah, most people don't even get 100.
So I agree that if you actually look at the numbers, it's not quote-unquote that bad. But you know why it is so bad? It's because it's per install. This is the absolute slap in the face, because it makes absolutely no sense. I have a master's degree in computer science. Per install is something I have never seen in my entire life. And let's even say, technically speaking, they could somehow monitor this, where they get a token from when the runtime is installed, and they get a token on their server. Number one, if they somehow fingerprint that token with the user's telemetry data on their PC, there's no way that's legal in the EU and probably California, I would imagine, maybe some other states, maybe some other countries as well. So that's the first thing.
I barely understand what's happening. I do, but it's unimaginably stupid and what?
So then if they can't use a fingerprint to specifically identify, okay, it was already installed on this person's machine or on that machine, well then you can literally just install them a basically saying, hey, listen, every time I install this, this studio pays 1 cent. Hey, yeah, that's not a lot, but let's be honest over here. Have you been on the internet lately? It doesn't even matter if this game has a political opinion.
This is kind of too complicated, It was a horrible idea at the beginning, and now it's just only getting worse. So I don't know. I hope they bring it back, but it's kind of yikes.
It doesn't matter which way it goes. Whatever. Okay, let's just review them. They write a script that installs the game 50,000 times a minute. It is possible. Obviously, it's possible. Or you can just remove the actual fingerprint that it sends to the Unity server and just bombard the Unity server with that. So really, that is the big issue, right? The big issue is that per install it's impossible not only to control. A person can install it however often they like, because obviously, secondly, any type of fingerprinting is probably illegal. And even if we go by the most conservative 1 cent per install, it is still, the more I think about it, it is still asinine to me. I still cannot comprehend the idea of per install. If it was per sale, man, sure, there's like something about, but obviously the issue with per sale is that then they wouldn't get that sweet pension money or that sweet money from the free-to-play games, where those companies are making millions upon millions, and Unity is seeing literally zero of that. But instead of doing somewhere between like 4 and 8% revenue share, similar to how Unreal does it, I just give you the idea over here for Unreal. Right, a 5% royalty is due if you're distributing off-the-shelf products and incorporate Unreal Engine, and lifetime gross revenue from that product exceeds $1 million US dollars. So after the $1 million US dollars of gross revenue that you've made, then you have to pay the 5% royalty. And while no one is like insanely happy about the 5% royalty, let's just be clear over here. Otherwise, Unreal Engine is completely free to use, and this is a predictable expense versus the Unity plan, which is not anywhere near predictable. And that is the big
Yeah. Unreal is predictable, definitely.
issue. The big issue is that per install, maybe 1 month you get an invoice for like $500, and you're like, okay, that's fine, right? You can plan that, that's totally fine. But the variability and the possibility of install bombing means that, well, maybe next month you get an invoice for 23K. That's ridiculous. And of course, Unity has already tried to respond over here with this week and this week. They are absolutely hilariously bad. The comments and like basically everyone in the comments is absolutely. And then this is the most stuff. How are install?
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Proprietary data model, basically tracking. Come on, man.
Pretty fair question, right? We leverage our own proprietary data model, so you can appreciate that we won't go into detail, but we believe it gives an accurate determination of the number of times the runtime is distributed for a given project. Can we get more? This is exactly right. This is the exact same. This is like a out of season stable scope. This is exactly right. What are you talking about? So we won't go into detail how it works. So don't worry, we got it. We believe it gives an accurate determination. Do you believe? You believe? This is the worst use of I believe or we believe that I've ever seen in my entire life. What are you talking about? This has to be ironclad. You can't just be like, oh well, we believe that's going to be fine. This is going to be accurate. No, absolutely not. And apparently that might be this. There's nothing. It's ridiculous. The issue really is the installs every single fee, but it doesn't matter. The issue you know, I don't know if you feel. Once again, most people generally towards the revenue. That the games made because the games themselves are free, but still, that is ridiculous. Once again, we get the 95% of cases the economics work, which is fine, right? Once again, most people, it's going to be totally okay. The issue isn't that it's going to be okay for most people, because like for myself, for example, if I ever want to make a game, I mean, I want to make a
oh my god, they're funneling people, Jesus.
A game that I do have big ambitions, and a lot of other people have big ambitions as well. So now what I'll also say is that yes, this might be like a guerrilla marketing campaign, right? So just no press is bad press, and let's just get our name out there, and we're going to change it back to like 8% revenue share, and everyone will rejoice. I don't know. I really don't think so. I think that they done fucked up with this. If it stays, then Unity's dead. There's no. I think that there's no arguing about that. For myself over here, to give you the update on the channel, if it stays, I'm going off of Unity tutorials. I'm going to probably look into Godot. I'm going to do Unreal. I'm going to go to freaking Flash Engine and Game Maker, RPG Maker. I'm going to do all the other engines, but I'm never going to touch Unity again. And this is coming from someone who's worked with Unity for 13 plus years. I freaking love the engine. I love how it works. I understand the workflow. I understand how everything works in the engine. Well, everything, you know what I mean? I wrote my master thesis with Unity as an engine. I know how to use it. This is the death of Unity, in my opinion. So I guess that's it for my insane rant over here. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here. So keep an eye out. I think that we're probably going to have about a week or two, or maybe a little bit longer, of a hiatus here on the channel, because I don't know if I really want to continue with Unity tutorials. I understand that it won't apply.
Let's see what's happening. Did Unity just destroy itself? Yeah. There is no boycott videos, so yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Unity drama got even worse. Jesus Christ, bro. Okay.
Remember, guys, what I said the other day? The credible death threat that prompted the closure of the Unity offices yesterday was made by a Unity employee. The police have now revealed. That's right, gentlemen. Statement from San Francisco. The police explained that the threat originated from an employee who had made a threat towards his employer using social media. Gentlemen, I think they should promote it because it took the pressure off of Unity a little bit, because you have all these people that are like, oh, well, this is the wrong thing to do, guys. We can disagree, but you shouldn't do that. And as well, the cancellation of a town hall meeting that would have seen Unity CEO John Riccatello addressing the staff. How convenient. You know what I'm thinking? I think he might need 2 promotions. Remember, guys.
What was this? Gouging for the shot.
2 promotions.
Low. Jesus Christ, bro. I might name this video Unity Boycott. Hashtag yo.
Hello, everybody.
Sure.
Welcome back to another episode of Fun and
Let's
Gaming News, the show that
see.
may or may not be about Unity. Today in the news, Unity Technologies, the company behind the Unity engine, has single-handedly burnt away all their goodwill with one really stupid decision. Yesterday morning, Unity announced their new runtime fee program, a program that, starting on January 1, would charge developers that use the engine a fee based on various installation and revenue thresholds their game meets. Also, they did this on National Video Games Day, no less, on their blog, Unity Share. We chose this because each time a game is downloaded, the Unity runtime is also installed. Also, we believe that an initial install-based fee also allows creators to keep the ongoing financial gains from player engagement.
Keep the ongoing potential gains from playing.
Unlike a revenue share, games qualify for the Unity runtime fee after 2 criteria have been met. 1, the game has passed a minimum revenue threshold in the last 12 months, and 2, the game has passed a minimum runtime install count. And when phrased like that, it might not seem like a lot, right? It seems pretty reasonable. However, if you actually deep dive into what it means, it could put it into dev in the red very quickly. Again, this is about installs, not purchases. So let's say it's February 2024, and you have made a game with Unity, and you go on to sell, I don't know, 500,000 copies, which is above the threshold that you would need, right? And let's say your publisher takes 50%, which is usually what happens to a lot of devs out there. Your publisher takes a cut. And then since at this point you're over Unity's threshold of 200,000, you now owe them, for the remainder of the installs, 20 cents per install, which totals $60,000. But here's the thing, let's say you add your game added to a bundle, like a Humble bundle, or a bundle for racial justice or trans rights, or the Gamers Union bundle, whatever bundle you added your game to support something that you aren't getting money from, right? All money's gonna go to some sort of charity, right? Or to some sort of activity. Who's gonna pay that fee? Someone has to pay that fee. If the developer does it, that's gonna hurt the dev, and why would they want to contribute to this then? And if the bundle does it, then that means money's taken away from the charity. YouTuber and indie developer Daniel W. Suman, aka Danny, took to Twitter and shared, ah shit, I guess I owe Unity 5.6 million. Anyone got some spare change? And posted his game's download numbers and Unity runtime pricing graphic. Danny then followed up the tweet with, this is partly a joke because this change doesn't come to effect before January, and there's a threshold of like 1 million downloads, so you can subtract 400,000. But if my game's got these downloads after January 2024, this is what I have to pay, LMFAO. Which is precisely why so many indie developers have become very vocal about their frustration regarding these changes. Agrocrab Games, Inner Sloth, Landfall Games, Massive Monster, and more have already come out online and expressed their disappointment in Unity's new proposed measures. To the point where Cult of the Lamb, the 2022 indie darling developed by Massive Monster, is threatening to delete their game on January 1st in order to avoid these fees and just genuinely protest this choice made by Unity. Zalver Nelson, the creator behind El Paso Elsewhere, shared on Twitter, I'm hearing at least one significant group of developers is talking a class action lawsuit against Unity. Holy shit. Additionally, video games director Brent Sheffield shared on GameDeveloper.com, but now I can say unequivocally, if you're starting a new game project, do not use Unity. If you started a project 4 months ago, it's worth switching to something else. Unity is quite simply not a company to be trusted. And so many more devs and people in the game space online to complain about this. My boy Rami has just been laying it out and really clearly explaining what's going on. Why this
So yeah, locking you into new terms.
so insane. And so of course Unity clearly saw
Black box system, yeah.
all the backlash
Trust me, bro, yeah.
both online and on their stocks. And
Jesus, this is turned into a shitstorm really fast. Okay, yeah, I guess. It's gonna be still okay.
let Stephen Totillo of Axios know that only the installation of a game triggers a fee. Demos mostly won't trigger fees. Devs not on the hook for Game Pass. And while walking it back to it only being an initial installation fee, again, that's not great. That doesn't seem good to me. That still sucks. And again, more importantly, how are they tracking all this? What are they sticking on your computer to let them know this? And when it comes to bundles or Game Pass and those costs, they say it's not going to be charged to the devs. However, Unity exec Mark Whitten went on to further share with Axios. As for Game Pass and other subscription services, Whitten shared developers like Agrocrab would not be on the hook as the fees are charged to distributors, which in the Game Pass example would be Microsoft. And yeah, okay, that sounds fine at first, until you deep dive this again, because if Microsoft is on the hook for all these game downloads, that means if I'm Microsoft and I'm looking at, we gotta pay this much money for this many downloads, I'm gonna question whether we should have Unity games on Game Pass. So if you're making your game in Unity, maybe Microsoft doesn't pick you up because they don't want to pay those fees. And maybe that pushes Unity off Game Pass altogether. If I'm trying to make anything clear here, it's that it isn't just that base fee, it's the domino effect on the entire industry and what this could mean moving forward. It's why so many developers and industry professionals in the media is making a big deal out of this, because it's worth making a big deal out of it. It's worth the whole show being about it today, because this is huge news and it affects the business and this industry in a really negative way. Hopefully Unity will continue to walk back all the things they've said. They've already started on a bunch of it. Let's just keep it going. Let's keep it walking back, because this is really one of the worst business schemes I've seen in a while, and it's so tone deaf to what is to be a developer. And you figure they would know this, but yeah, man, it's upsetting. And I would love to hear your thoughts, to be honest, as you know, someone who may or may not be in the industry, someone who may or may not have any else in the game. What do you think? Does this seem as bad to you as it does to me and many others? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that is it for me. Thank you so much.
Let's go to their back.
Hello, storyline is that's good.
The protect.
Okay, so I guess this video will be about Unity. I'll split it.
Published, and you're a new user, the developer or whoever is in charge of owning the money from that game has to pay 20 cents each time. Now, since this news was first announced, there's been lots of clarification, there's been lots of back and forth between, well, what is a game, who pays for that, is it the platform, is it the developer, is it the publisher, all these different confusing things have resurfaced, and Unity has at times answered things, and there have been people who have worked for Unity who kind of set up platform, is it the developer, is it the publisher, all these different...
This is funny.
Publisher, all these...
It
Publisher, all these...
Sorry bro, this is great. Love you, bro, but this
all these
is
different confusing things. Blusher,
how many times?
blusher, all these different confusing
Ooh, over this.
things have resurfaced, and Unity has at times, and all these different
If I speed it up more, will it be even funnier? I don't know.
the publisher, all these different confusing things have
Yeah, 3 is about right. Let's see it at 5, bro.
the publisher, all these different confusing things
Yeah, 3 is about right, I guess.
all these different confusing things have resurfaced, and Unity has at times, and things, and the people who have worked for Unity who comes out, okay, this is what basically going on, but nothing official has been saying things, and so, okay, and things, and the people who have worked for Unity who comes out, okay, this is what basically going on, but nothing official has been saying things, and so all these thoughts and feelings that I have, particular ones become valid as terms become more solidified, and what are the things valid, and okay, this is what, and the people who have worked for Unity, is the publisher, is for that, is it the platform, is it the developer, is it the publisher, all these different confusing things have games announced, lots of clarification, there's not back and forth anymore, what is the game, who pays for that, is it the platform, is it the developer, is it the publisher, all these different confusing things have resurfaced, and Unity has at times, and things, and the people
Okay, that's good actually. Let's try it one more time, but it's 2 times the speed.
game has to pay 20 cents each time. Now, since this news was first announced, there's been lots of clarification, there's been lots of back and forth between, well, what is a game, who pays for that, is it the platform, is it the developer, is it the publisher, all these different confusing things have resurfaced, and Unity has at times and things, and there have been people who have worked for Unity who kind of set out, okay, this is what basically is going on, but nothing official has been saying these things, and so all
Yeah, but
these thoughts and feelings that I have, particular ones might be
let's see
have the
what's
decision for this, people who actually make the features and program the stuff and actually maybe works for the company because they liked the software, people within like a year or a quarter, and I just felt, look, if I'm going to change, it's going to be Unreal because things like native grants. Look, the tutorials are good enough, there's enough people out there, and look, things are only recently, and there are people who have used programs to help, and there's all these incentives to leave, and Unity, I think, developers have just had this outcry, and I hope that they pull back on this, and I hope that the CEO of Unity or when publishers want to, do a sequel.
Jesus Christ, bro, there's so much drama right now.
The man on September 12th. It's basically a instruction. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Loaded.
Never seen this. Let's see, this is the end.
Unity, a game development engine that pretty much everyone in the world knows, for better and for worse. Is this really? Oh my god, it's actually this. I'm sure you've all seen several games and videos of the face of the watermark at the start of the game. Some have called it a mark of shame even, but one thing's for sure, Unity is a very widespread engine. Some of the biggest games in the world are made on Unity. You just don't know it, such as Genshin Impact, Among Us, Cuphead, Risk of Rain 2, Beat Saber, Rust, even games like Pokemon BDSP. You know that saying about it not being the tool but the person wielding it? Yeah, if I didn't tell you that these games are made on the Unity engine, you probably wouldn't have. Content specializes in would use the free personal option to get their demos out the door on websites such as Game. We leverage our own proprietary data model. Really signed themselves off on destroying.
Oh my god, I'm gonna watch this later.
Didn't get hell to me, Muhar, and boy, oh boy, I thought the situation was going to end with some actual positivity. So, ladies and gentlemen, a couple days ago I made a video regarding Unity, the game engine, and I'm proud to just say again that they have continued to dig their own grave, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I've never seen a company basically end themselves this hard, but to understand Unity...
Suicide.
He finally actually did a response, and I want to read it with you guys, okay? Also, I wanted to bring up some new shady stuff that's come out since that last video. Well, it's been out for a little bit, but we'll get right into it. Unity says, we want to acknowledge the confusion and frustration we heard after we announced our new runtime policy. Now, for those of you who don't know what the runtime policy is, Unity is a middleware game engine, right? So, when you're playing a video game, it's usually powered by a game engine, and Unity is a very popular game engine, as is Unreal Engine, as is a bunch of other middleware stuff. So, Godot is a free open source engine, which I highly recommend because you can never trust Unity after what they did on September 12th, so you might as well cut them out of your entire life forever, okay? If you're a game developer, an indie game developer, start using Godot, switch to Unreal, do something else, whatever you do, don't go to the trash that is Unity. But again, lots of game developers, some of them even have their own proprietary engines, okay? For instance, Cyberpunk 2077 runs on CD Projekt Red's in-house Red engine. Yeah, this game looks good, but to develop your own engine is a very daunting task, and that's why a lot of budding game developers tend to go with Unity because the work is kind of done there. Now, the way that the pricing has always been done is if you make a certain amount of game sales, you pay a percentage of your licensing fee, pretty standard.
Yeah, you don't want to make an entire engine because that's gonna be a lot of work.
What Unity was trying to do is basically charge developers.
I think what is too hard here, but we'll see if they're idiots and stick to it. They should lose everything, but it's not that easy, and I think they kind of walked back at something. I'm not sure. Let's see.
On a per install basis of the fucking game. So you gotta understand, it's kind of like if Mr. Beast made a super viral YouTube video and he used Adobe Premiere, and then tomorrow Adobe's like, hey, can you give us a percentage of your YouTube ad revenue? Why? Because I used the tool to make my video. I already paid you licensing fees. Unity wanted extra. They wanted to basically be paid on a per install, per one-time basis of their game. Really, really shady shit. So anyways, Unity decided to address the confusion. Who is impacted by the price increase? The price increase is very targeted. In fact, more than 90% of our customers will not be affected by this change. Their customers are the game developers, not you, because the customers who go to Unity to get the engine to design the game, so you go to these guys. Customers who will be impacted are generally those who have found a substantial scale in download and revenue and have reached both their install and revenue thresholds. This means a low or no fee for creators who have not found scale success yet, and a modest one-time fee for those who have. Again, unethically asking for money that isn't yours is not what I consider right. But ladies and gentlemen, the game developers have responded. In their entire letter, they actually said, we want to turn off...
This is, yeah, I want to see this letter. Collected letter from game developer comes to until
Source and Unity adds monetization until their new conditions are reviewed. Yeah, the developers who are affected by this want to turn off the Unity ads, so Unity loses some of that money, and they want to turn off Iron Source, which is an actual acquisition, a controversial one Unity made for a while back. One that I think I made a video on a while back too, but the general gist of it is that they were apparently tied to a malware issue, which actually wasn't entirely their fault. From what I believe, from what I remember, Iron Source made like a open source installer, which a bunch of malware actors used, and spread malware, and actually had to cut off their entire connection. It's an interesting topic. I made a video. You should check it out if you're super interested there. Inside this letter, they basically wrote that on September 12th announcement, it hit us hard. Effective January 1st, 2024, Unity plans to introduce installation dependent fees, a decision that jeopardizes small and large game developers alike, made without any industry consultation. The claim, as Unity has, that this new runtime fee will only only impact 10% of the industry is not just misleading, it's patently false. It's not even just like game developers, like one person saying it. There's an entire collage of angry responses from game developers. So you've got one from Massive Monster who made a response, InnerSwap, the guys behind Among Us guys, made a response to this, AggroCrab that we saw, a bunch of other developers have made solid responses to Unity. So clearly this isn't how they represent it, okay? So basically over here they say the fee is on new installs only. Once you meet the 2 install and revenue thresholds, you only pay the runtime fee on new installs after January 1st, 2024. It's not perpetual. You only pay once for an install, not an ongoing perpetual license royalty like a revenue share model. So again, it's I guess not mentioning reinstalls, which I define it here. How we define and count installs. Assuming the install and revenue thresholds are met, we will only count net new installs on any device after January 1st, 2024. Developers are not responsible for paying a fee on reinstall charges. We are not going to charge a fee for reinstalls. Which, by the way, can I just fucking say, a day ago, I read a response from one of your people in your own fucking forums, okay? Who, by the way, said if they use a reinstalls, redownloads, changes their hardware, does that count as multiple installs? Yes, the creator will need to pay for all future installs. The reason is that Unity doesn't receive end player information, just aggregate data. So what is it? Okay, are you backpedaling 100% on that, or what's going on? Do you not know? Basically, you can stream cloud game your Xbox titles with your phone. Either. So this is actually an interesting point. They mentioned streaming. Install count either. So this is actually so the way that it works is if you have a Unity game on Game Pass, then if this clause wasn't like mentioned, you could theoretically stream a game 100 times on xCloud and cost 800 installs. Because the way that cloud gaming works is like this. This gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077 that you're seeing is recorded underneath a virtual machine that I made with a graphics card pass through. This is kind of how Nvidia does it with their streaming service, how Microsoft does it. There are a bunch of hardware pieces sitting in a server somewhere. In this case, it's sitting in my computer, and all it does is it provisions the virtual machine with access to an install of the game, and you can then just basically launch these games and run it. But the way that virtual machine works is as you launch the game, that virtual machine is spun up new every time. It's treated like a different computer. You know, okay, if you change hardware components on your actual computer and you use Windows might take away your license because it detects itself on a new computer. With a new graphics card, or a new hard drive, or a new processor, the definition of what is a new computer can vary between companies. And in that case, could you imagine if tomorrow, I guess the best time comparison I could say is if you install Windows, right? You can download Windows and install it for free right now. And that whole process, right? You can use Windows, you have a watermark in the corner. Could you imagine installing Windows, and after 3 days, they just say, hey, you can't open the file manager anymore, or you can't open Microsoft Edge or your internet browser, you gotta pay Microsoft license. But you use Windows for 3 days, you gotta start paying for that premium license. Grandmothers would switch to Linux, okay? Overnight, that would happen. Because Microsoft and a lot of companies realize when you twist the knife like this, okay, it can really end badly, especially if there's competing products on the market. And in Unity's case, they're not the only middleware game engine out there, nor are they one of the best. So again, they've got cherry-related installs, so if you have things like Humble Bundle or whatever, that won't count towards. What's also interesting is they have not mentioned things like free game drops on Epic Games Launcher, Steam, or whatever. Could you imagine being an indie developer and Epic puts your game for free on their store? Bro, you might just have to pay up the ass. The Epic royalty surely may not cover whatever Unity may end up charging you if your game gets downloaded up the ass. This is what I hate about this entire post when they talk about, oh, your questions and concerns. Some of the mentions that you have over here, like the reinstall charges, literally go against what one of your people have said a day ago. So can I trust Unity? Obviously not. Now, of course, there's been some more shady things that have come out, but one thing that I wanted to tell you in amongst all of it is because of this protest, there are big developers for big games like Cult of the Lamb, super popular indie games, who have said, hey, buy it now because we're deleting the game on January.
Damn.
First, literally a protest to what's been going on over here. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, one of the shady things that ended up kicking off was looking into the terms of service for Unity. So there were a few eagle-eyed individuals that were actually looking through Unity's TOS. One of the posts here was Unity silently removed their GitHub repo to track license changes. They updated their license to remove the clause that lets you use the TOS from the version you ship with, then insists games already shipped need to pay the new fee. But then, of course, when you look at their new TOS, that doesn't ever get mentioned anywhere. And inside this new entire TOS update, I'm not seeing, of course, he backtracked this, like, spoiled for choice. I get a little bit technical, so if you look at the price company, you can actually be bumped off here. But to point out John Rosatello, when you should be looking at the other head, decided to finally...
This is horrible. Okay, this we'll have to test later, and this...
Welcome back, everybody's day. It's really going to be fun because we now have to deal with the fallout of the Unity situation. We have had developers across the industry speaking out about this. I've had people that I know have, their own whatever experiences. There's publishers who are, let's just say, if you are in any form of like developer or publisher relations at Unity, you've probably had a very, very, very busy day at work. A lot of publishers have been reaching out with some pretty damn serious calls, and from what I have been led to understand thus far, not a whole lot of progress. The people who are working at Unity essentially seem to have their hands tied with no clear answers that they can provide. It overall seems that they don't even seem to know how this entire shindig is even going to be implemented. So it's a pretty crazy situation. It is, however, one that Unity have responded to, which absolutely is very fun. And of course, in the spirit of dealing with these runtime fees, here's a word from our sponsor, Boot Dev. Their founders are actually a bunch of WoW players who found our channels, and with code Bellular News, you'll get 25% off, and you're going to want that because Boot.dev is leveled well to enter at your own pace, which is an excellent choice. With them, get started coding. Go through their code. God damn, I wish they existed back when I was in university because I know something. Even if it's a 98% chance, you still cannot take that risk. You cannot be the person who just said, it's nothing, it's just bullshit from 4chan, and then it maybe turns out, it wasn't bullshit from 4chan, right? So it's the sort of thing that have to act in this. If they developed a
I'm just gonna call the okay.
which of you games I've got one coming out in 2023. Just got off a call with Unity. The reps were nice folks, but ultimately didn't say anything that gives us confidence that this company is to be trusted. A lot of their answers boil down to, you can work it out with your account manager to iron things out. Man, I just want a clear policy. Yeah, you would think they'd be ready to give clarity whenever they are fundamentally going to be changing the unit economics of your business, which is mad. So, continually, Unity have not really been able to do things. I know, both like public stuff and also private stuff of like many publishers who are now having talks with their Unity reps and they're not particularly pleased. That's the kind of thing that's going on now. Unity did release an official statement. To be honest, it's a whole load of nothing. So, in a business like this is different from just like Netflix is saying, hey, we're going to charge you £2 more a month for our service. Like in B2B, stuff does not work that way. Obviously price rises can happen, but like for our next title and stuff. But that is not pale beyond revenue that's able to subsidize the technology group because
this. Yeah, we'll watch this later. 4 hours ago, let's see what's happening.
Alright, yesterday I talked about the fall of Unity, and today I'm talking about it again. Why? Because it continues to get much, much worse. The picture continues to change because I'm not fascinated by it. Long story short, watching a company implode like this and scratching my head is why. Makes me want to figure it all out. If not for certain, at least plausible.
Can you notice how it doesn't start immediately, the closed captions? It takes a few seconds, especially when you speed the video up.
Speculation of what the reasons might be, secret agendas or hidden motivations. I'm not going to bore everyone with a lengthy recap of stuff they've already heard because most people probably understand this already. However, the crux of the issue is this. Unity Technologies, a video game software company responsible for making the Unity game engine, has recently adjusted their fee structure. On top, we already know about John Rosatello, how you say that, the CEO. He sold a bit of stock right before this all happened. He was the former CEO of EA Games. He wanted to charge gamers per reload, and he...
Oh my god, EA.
The moment when price version was lowest, and the industry hates it.
for good reason. But who's this guy? Tomar Barzeev. Credit where credit is due. Tell me on this Reddit the result of the post on r/unity from username Zajit. I'll link to that down below. Tomar Barzeev is on the board of directors at Unity, but he is also the CEO of a company called IronSource. Now, IronSource itself, he is also the link to that down below. Tomar Bar's IronSource. Now, IronSource itself is an important piece of the potential puzzle because IronSource actually merged in November of 2022 with Unity Technologies. This, at the time, was a $4.4 billion deal. Pretty big. But the landscape surrounding that deal is what matters most. For reference, IronSource is a company that specializes in mobile game development, monetization, and distribution. Okay, so Tomar Barzeev, sitting on the board of directors at Unity Technologies and also CEO of IronSource, is a figure of interest, but it turns out that when you go down the list of Unity insiders who are selling stock in the company, this guy is by far the most aggressive. Over the past year alone, according to Fintel, it appears that Tomar Barzeev has sold upwards of $20 million in Unity stock, which is interesting to say the very least. Now, remember that $4.4 billion merger between Unity Technologies and IronSource? Well, it turns out that deal had a number of, shall we say, complications. First, at the same time as this $4.4 billion deal or merger was taking place, a company called AppLovin made a competing offer to buy out Unity completely for $20 billion. But Unity rejected this deal, citing that the deal, quote, would not reasonably be expected to result in superior proposal, end quote. I find that exceptionally odd on a personal level, given the comparable market capitalization at the time was significantly below $20 billion, making this an offer that came with a sizable upside premium. Still, the deal with IronSource would leave Unity in control, while the deal with AppLovin would reduce them to 49% voting rights, so yeah, it's a bit complicated and they rejected the offer. Anyway, after rejecting AppLovin, Unity merged with IronSource, and now the CEO of IronSource, Tomar Barzeev, as we've said, sells tens of millions of dollars worth of stock. Board of directors, Egon Durbin and Rolaf Botha. These nuts. Starting with Egon Durbin, he is a founding principal and managing director at Silver Lake, which it now appears, I shit you not, has a principal and managing Durbin and Rolaf Botha. These nuts. Starting with
What the fuck was that?
Egon Durbin and Rolaf Botha. These nuts. Starting with Egon Durbin, he is a founding principal and managing director at Silver Lake, which it now appears, I shit you not, has sold the entirety of their directly held remaining stock in Unity Technologies, disclosed as of yesterday. Also, Egon Durbin, once again, big shout out to Zajit over on Reddit, the connections here are fascinating, and I wouldn't have known about half of them without their post. Egon Durbin was embroiled in scandal when he advised Elon Musk about the potential to take Tesla private. That was a whole fiasco with a legal quagmire.
Somebody shortcutting, or what's the word? The Unity? Are they pumping up their stocks and then selling them? What?
Elon said he was going to take the company private. Once again, let's double down. No, it's a list of former employees and founders at PayPal who have since gone on to create a giant spiderweb of technology companies. Includes names like Peter Thiel, Chad Hurley, co-founder of YouTube, Yishan Wong, founder of Reddit, and yes, Rolaf Botha, a partner now at Sequoia Capital, sitting on the board of directors at Unity. Get this. In October of 2022, Rolaf Botha was predicting success, quote unquote, for Elon Musk and Twitter, saying that his firm, Sequoia Capital, conducted due diligence and the business model can be improved. But let's expand on that comparison. See, Twitter actually made radical changes to their API pricing model not long after Elon's takeover, and those changes are not dissimilar to those of Unity. Personally, I ran up against this when trying to map these huge political bot networks with my team, and now I can't do that because I got locked out of the API based on those changes, and I can't afford to pay thousands of dollars per month to do it. Hosting costs have long been the elephant in the room for tech companies. The more traffic you get, the more expensive it is, and Twitter decided to start ruthlessly charging developers for API requests. That resulted in a lot of applications being deprecated because they just simply couldn't afford the cost being passed down to them in such a way, and the trend is far from over. Reddit, much like Twitter, went down a very similar route, opting to start spontaneously charging for API usage, and Reddit CEO Steve Huffman is on record praising Elon Musk's new monetization tactics for Twitter as a platform, explicitly saying that their conversations had been inspiring for him. Flash forward today, and we now see Unity opting to continue that very same trend. Logistically, protecting game developers from bad actors will now be completely impossible because every time you spin up a virtual machine, it's a brand new install, right? And they have no way to differentiate that, and you could easily target developers if you wanted to. But focusing on the casual mobile game market, remember Unity accepted an IronSource merger at $4.4 billion instead of a merger with AppLovin valued at $20 billion. Focusing on the casual mobile market, we see this right here. Unity is offering a runtime fee waiver if you switch to level play as it tries to kill AppLovin. Would you look at that? Level play is a service from IronSource. Here's a much better visualization of what's actually happening from username Sososki on Twitter. The yellow indicates the portion of developers will now lose between 10 and 25% of their revenue with Unity's new terms of service. The orange, they stand to lose between 25 and 50% of their revenue. Red can lose between 50 and 100%, and that scary black line off to the left, not huge, but it is there. That's the area where these new terms will bankrupt your company because Unity decided to charge you more money per install than your app is even making. We're mostly talking about small-scale free mobile applications and games, but even if I have my gripes with the mobile game market, those people still have jobs and deserve fair treatment. Let's go big picture here. Unity is being raked over the coals, rightly so, for their decision to implement aggressive price market. Those people still have jobs and deserve fair treatment. Let's go big picture here. Unity is being raked over the coals, rightly so, for their decision to implement aggressive pricing on their customer base. That decision emulates a pattern that began with Twitter, was mirrored by Reddit, and is now making its way through the broader markets. The decision itself appears to be aimed at killing a competing service after Unity actually rejected a buyout offer from that service's owner in favor of a merger with IronSource, who stands to gain the most from this entire controversy. Meanwhile, the CEO of IronSource and the directors who came on board through Sequoia Capital and Silver Lake during the deal relentlessly dumped their stock in Unity, standing to gain massively as the business gets funneled into level play. The vouchers, that's the key. Anecdotes are beginning to surface right now more and more, where developers are being offered runtime fee waivers to switch over, and some are being told that their fees will be covered with credits because they already use IronSource as their ad provider. The golden goose here is IronSource, and the gaming developers being affected are just casualties of a hidden agenda. Thankfully, there are still ways for developers to fight back. As an example, there was recently a collective letter from game companies announcing that they will be turning off Unity and IronSource ad monetization in retaliation. See shifts. But when the advertising revenue starts to take a hit, companies do actually take notice. There are some big names backing this letter: Azure, Voodoo, Century Games, etc. As the dust settles and the real targets become clear, reality continues to dawn that Unity may have just completely killed their own business entirely. They could turn back, I guess, but no one will ever trust them again, period. They could stay the course and maybe funnel a fair number of projects into level play over at IronSource, which appears to be the actual goal. But how high is the cost of that action? Casual mobile gaming might be the future of the industry from a raw numbers perspective. It might be the largest vertical out there even in terms of player count, but it's not the only one. And taking the type of reputational hit that they have already taken doesn't exactly seem worth it to me. Who knows? Twitter did something vaguely similar right off the bat and never looked back. Reddit hopped on board soon after, and maybe Unity is just third in line for the new industry norm, trailblazing as they go, but somehow this one seems a bit different. The anger seems more physical even, and the consequences are ramping up fast. Final example here, it seems pertinent to back up what I'm saying for this part. Unity decided to close 2 of its offices in mid-September after, quote, credible threats, unquote, but those threats were made by their own employee. The company is being ripped apart at the seams, and honestly, I'm not sad to see it. Sure, the threats are overkill, there's no place for that, obviously, but it demonstrates that we've crossed a line between typical outrage, or online grumbling, as some people call it, and actual consequences for their actions. All in all, when I made the video yesterday, I didn't think it could get much worse. I figured the situation would die down, if anything, but no, it has not. Decidedly has not. The agendas and motives in play here are fascinating, whatever they ultimately might be, and I really want to talk about it. That's it. Links are down below to support. Please consider Patreon.
Thanks. Okay, I subscribed to this channel. I don't know why I wasn't subscribed to it. We'll watch this later.
Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey. Okay, so here let's analyze what I think will happen next. Also look at some answers on why this even happened. Then my advice on some changes that you can make, and finally my advice to you going forward. But first, just the quick question panel, will Unity roll back the changes? Right now a lot of people are wondering if this truly is the path forward, or if there's a chance for a reversal. My quick answer is if you're waiting for a reversal, then I would say don't wait. If a full reversal is the absolute only thing that would keep you with Unity, if so, or simply if you feel trust is damage beyond repair, then my simple advice is just move on to something else because personally I do not believe a big reversal is coming. Here are 3 reasons on why I think that. Now when I made the second video on this topic, which was one day after the announcement and pretty much everything was on fire, back then I genuinely believed there was a potential for a reversal considering the intensity of the backlash, but given the recent updates where all they did was clarify what counts as an install and basically just define some exceptions, based on that it does seem like a reversal is really not coming at all. At best they are willing to do some compromise like we saw saw the exception on charity bundles, demos, and reinstalls, but in general, it does seem like they are really committed to going down this path. Basically, since then, the backlash has continued. There's even a Twitter account tracking all the statements from all the various studios who pretty much have just said they're not going to use Unity anymore. Basically, the general consensus is there are devs that are in the middle of development and they won't keep using Unity to the end, but most of them, they feel that this has done irreparable harm and can no longer trust Unity and will no longer use it in future projects. So basically with that, that's another reason why I don't think there will be a reversal. Basically, a lot of people have already made up their minds and they won't quit Unity regardless of what happens. So if you were to play devil's advocate and look at the cold hard facts from the side, they basically got two options. They can either revert this pricing or they can keep it. Now, if they revert,
Jesus, so many people already quit Unity.
Then those people who feel the situation has broken the repair, those will not return. So devs still quit Unity, and of course by reverting changes, they obviously won't make any revenue from this fee. Whereas if they keep the new pricing, then the devs still quit Unity just the same, but they do get extra revenue. Perhaps the ones that say and pay the fee, perhaps it won't be enough to offset the loss of all these licenses. So basically, if you play devil's advocate, there's really no benefit on them to go back. So that's another reason why I really don't believe there will be a reversal. I think at this point they are really committed to going down this path no matter what. And yet another reason is something that they actually themselves say. On the various official posts, they mention how these changes will not affect 90% of customers, meaning they only impact the top 10%. Now Unity's business is very top heavy. They really only make money from a tiny handful of super huge devs. Those are devs that make things like Engine Impact and Marvel Snap. Those are the ones that really make them money. Meaning that looking at all the posts on this Twitter account, I've gone through pretty much all of them and all I see are indie devs. The reality is Unity's customers aren't really indies like you or me. It's the developers making the mega hits. So in terms of backlash against these changes, those are really the only ones that matter. And I cannot find any public statements from those big developers. Although I assume there are some serious discussions happening behind closed doors. Again, at this point it really goes back to simple math. If all of these developers quit, but the likes of Marvel Snap stays and happily pays a fee, if so, then it can actually be a net positive for them in terms of short-term profits. So again, if you're hoping for a full reversal, I don't believe it will happen. Now, if you're curious as to why this fee even came to be, why this idea was even thought of in the first place, there's a great Twitter thread with tons and tons of infos by someone who was there in the very early stages of this succession, which apparently happened 1 year ago. Now, I highly encourage you to read this whole thread if you want to get an inside look on why all this happened. Basically, the core idea is that Unity spends a ton of money making the engine relevant, supporting tons of unique platforms that is certainly very expensive, and for the most part, Unity has not made a profit. I believe they only went into the green for these last few quarters. And with interest rates rising and investment dollars pretty much drying up, they desperately need more revenue. They can't really go back in the red. Just like it says here, 80% of users don't pay anything at all. Basically, it's the ads business that funds the engine. Now, most people see Unity as a game engine that does ads on the side, but the business reality is actually the exact opposite. Unity is really an ad company with an engine on the side. So they desperately need to get more money, but ads are based on how many games people play and how much advertisers pay, meaning they don't have much control over that. What they can directly control is indeed get more revenue from the engine side of the business by introducing either a rev share or just like we saw a per game fee. So this is yet another reason why it really does not seem that they are likely to go back on this. They desperately need to make the company profitable in any way. Now, if they are truly committed to going down this path, if a complete reversal is absolutely not in the cards, then here are my suggestions for how to make pretty much the best of a bad situation. Also, before I mention my suggestions, here is the same disclaimer that I made in my very first video. I am a Steam PC solo indie dev, so my suggestions are coming from that one very specific point of view. I am not a mobile expert, I am not a free-to-play expert, so I do hope that Unity will listen to my suggestions, but I also hope that they will consult experts in all the other areas of game development when deciding what specific changes to implement. The industry is huge, and changes that might be good for one sector might be terrible for another. Unity have mentioned how the spirit of this program is really for them to succeed when developers succeed. They have mentioned how it's not their intention to bankrupt anyone, but right now, just based on these rules, just based on this chart, it is technically possible for a developer to go bankrupt. Basically, if your revenue per user is under the fee amount, then you're pretty much on the path to bankruptcy, or simply just a case that is talking about revenue, not profit. So if your profit margins are so small that you cannot afford the fee, then once again, you go down to bankruptcy. Back to this Twitter thread, there's actually a nice graph over here with some nice math, and this perfectly shows the problem with the per install model. Here you can see how some...
Okay, I'm kind of getting to the end point of my patience for this whole drama,
examples of fees
but
actually
yeah.
fair compared to a flat revenue only fails on games. It would be individually negotiated with Unity. So I believe that the rules should be possible to track this over report their stats. Action for 3 days. I don't know if this is new. I've expanded upon this, and basically games, they would simply not get money from those games. Fee. And now that some people the numbers don't matter at all. For some people, they don't care if the numbers are fair or unfair. Things that no one wanted. Technically, I could wake up tomorrow and my channel would be completely demonetized or just outright deleted. Or another example, Steam could suddenly decide tomorrow to up their rate from 30% to 90%. Technically, that could happen. So personally, for this argument, I really don't find it productive to panic about all the bad things that technically could happen. Instead, for me, I simply look at the current reality and just adapt to it. If tomorrow Unity changes these terms once more, then I will once again read the new terms and come to a new decision. That's also the exact same reason why personally I don't consider the trust factor in making my decision. I've never really relied on trusting or distrusting Unity. For me, it is merely a tool. It is a tool with certain capabilities and of course a certain cost. If the capabilities or the cost changes, then I will analyze the new reality and once again adapt to it. At the end of the day, this is really your decision. So make your decision on what engine you want to use based on whatever criteria you decide. Like I said in previous videos, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. Whether you say or...
Jesus, what's happening? Okay, this is enough from me on the Unity drama, at least for now. Jesus, felt like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but it's a 42-minute long video. God damn it. Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, this guy's been getting... Oh my god, I want to see this, but...
Unity has caused a fire that has ironically united hundreds of thousands of game developers who are together sharing their concerns about the platform.
So this is how YouTube works, you know, you want to quit but you can't. Help me! Help me!
As a whole. They do this by complaining on Twitter, as well as just leaving the engine altogether and using other engines like Unreal Engine, Game Maker, or Godot. If you're unsure what happened and you're here for an explanation from me and what all this means for game developers, you have come to the wrong. What this means. When I first started game development, I started with Game Maker and it was really fun, but those was something that I learned about last year and a couple of months ago again when I in Unity. The Chateau is nearly done with development, and so I am definitely still planning on releasing it. But Monster Shopper, I'm not so sure about. The reason I'm saying this is very simple, because I don't like opening Unity at the moment. I'm working on a demo for Steam Next Fest for the Chateau, and every time I open Unity, I just feel nasty. I just feel dirty, like I'm not supposed to be there. And using an engine that you love and feeling that way is not great. I'm supposed to feel comfortable, and I still feel comfortable with the tool itself, but the idea and what it stands for, every time I open the software, something just makes me want to gag. It just, you know, I just get a chill over my body. It's not fun. I do not like it. And some people may think that is overreacting, but it's just a feeling. So many people have lost trust in Unity, and maybe they'll be able to build it up again by changing some things, or maybe even reversing the whole thing, which I doubt. It doesn't take away the fact that that trust was broken. And to me as well, it just sucks. I just really feel uncomfortable. The new threshold is something that I have not ever reached, and I might never. But of course, just like many other people, that's what you're going for as an indie developer. Let me just don't do it this way. Now, of course, I'm not done making games. I love making video games, and it's something that I have been doing for many years. I have made tons of video games, and well, I started tons of projects, not finished that many, so I will not be leaving game development behind. However, for now, I will no longer be using Unity except for with Le Chateau. From now on, I am going to be trying out different engines, but so far it does look like I will be using Godot. Godot seems to be the closest to what I want to use compared I'm used to. So I think the transition will be easiest, and then I'll feel most comfortable using it. I've messed around with some of it already, and while it may be a little confusing, and some of the stuff doesn't completely align with how I'm expecting it to behave, I am still very excited about using it. So yeah, this was really about the video for me, and my views on the whole situation, and how it affects
it's going to be problematic, the transition to other engines.
me. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you'll be sticking around for whatever it comes.
It's a tough situation, bro. You don't want to get into learning new engines, especially if Unity had a lot of things you wanted and needed. But yeah, I guess it's something that has to happen now for many people. We'll see what happens. It's an interesting situation, a dramatic situation, I guess. It's almost a war now, basically, with so many developers threatening to quit and pausing the ads and stuff like that. It's really strange and tough, I guess. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this was a 45-minute video, guys. So I hope it's enough from me on this topic for today or something like that. So yeah, I guess talk to you soon. I guess, yeah, bye for now.